Lord, give us strength, give us knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to accept your word. Give us patience, give us endurance. Give us love and appreciation for what you have provided for us.
I may search, Lord, fix my heart so that I may be used by thee. Lord, I'm not worthy of all these blessings. Give me a clean heart and I'll follow thee.
But this shall come to pass, if thou shalt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses should come upon thee and overtake thee. I know that you looking down on me. I hope that you're proud of me. I studied Deuteronomy. The curse when we the chosen seed. This is my blood, I'm a king. It's hard for you to see. Like I know this because you don't read. You focus on material things. Stay strong. Hold on. You gotta pray for him. And don't lose faith for him. The enemy saying just give up. Yeshaya, please give us the wisdom. As a nation, we need spiritual healing. Continue to fight off these demons. Continue to fast. Continue to pray. Thanking the Most High for today. Talk on your people. Know that we not even equal. And with all these heathens, follow tradition of man. What happened to keep the command? Just for my people that's lost. Open your eyes and see. They want us dead in the streets. Chasing material things. So get in your soul. Remember you reap what you sow. If I gotta die for my people, I will. Cause we gotta wake up. But we cannot be God alone. Call on the higher. Stay strong. You gotta pray for me. And don't lose faith. Just give up. You show you just give us the wisdom. Make sure we need spiritual healing. Continue to put your dreams on me. I hope that you're proud of me. I studied Deuteronomy. The curse we the chosen seed. This is our blood, I'm a king. It's hard for you to see. Like I know this because you don't read. You focus on material things. Stay strong. Hold on. You gotta pray for him. And don't lose faith for him. The enemy saying just give up. Yeshua, please give us the wisdom. As a nation, we need spiritual healing. Continue to fight off these demons. Don't nobody get it like you fit it. I don't want nobody get it like you get it. Burning in the flesh and in the spirit. If it ain't the Father, then you gonna hear it. Drinking out the wicked place and up. Trying to eat the pain, we don't pray enough. When the fix it, if it's only one, then it's only us who can rise from up. Love is people, baby, love is folks. Left us messages on how to go. Take the most, don't even want to know. Rather chase the bag, rather get the dough. Rather get the world, lose your soul. Take your breath, get down on the floor. Not even take over, keep it on the go. Man, it's time to rise, be the light and glow. Holy nation with your holy breed. Sons of Jacob, get the chosen seed. It's a cold reason why we bleed. Instead of having everything we need. Gotta give our presence to the Father. Come back to our God, this never higher. Looking in the sky, showing God. I know that you looking down on me. I hope that you're proud of me. I studied Deuteronomy. The first one that we the chosen seed. It's in my blood, I'm a king. It's hard for you to see. Like I know this because you don't read. You focus on material things. Stay strong. Hold on. You gotta pray for him. And don't lose faith for him. The enemy saying just give up. Yeshua, please give us the wisdom. As a nation, we need spiritual healing. Continue to fight off these demons. I was going through some things. Somebody was talking to me. All right. actually started speaking one by one and started reading my scriptures. I talk to myself. It's not me talking to myself. I can make your enemies tell me what you want to know, baby. I don't need your mind. Being out on the road, understanding, and I'll never leave you behind. Hey, you ain't got no worry, got the best friend you ever had. I got so much to let you, so I don't mind giving my last. Yeah. I'm so real, I'll give you the game, and it's all about just a mind you can say. I'm the best friend that you ever had. I was never let you down, I'm the best friend you ever had. I thought real parents were kids, I'm always trying to bad. If it cost me, you really hurt yourself. Realize there is nobody else. I'm the best friend that you ever had. I can pick you up and let you down. Word of the person, but people are shaking around on the matter of the thing. If I push the door, I'll always close and I'm back up the world. Leave not on your own understanding. Because the family's already won. I gotta go. So I don't mind giving my land. I'm so real, I'll give it. I'm just a mind you can say. I'm the best friend that you ever had. I would never let you down. I'm the best friend you ever had. I don't feel very to the kids. I'm always trying to bad. If you talk to me, it really hurts. Realize there is nobody else. I'm the best friend that you ever had. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. We gotta walk together. Let's be friends. All we gotta do is be friends. I'm friends. I'm so wild, I'll give you If you cross me, it really hurts. Realize there is nobody else. I'm the best friend that you ever had. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. He said, let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. that can help you to keep alive. You better read and praise the Most High. No, it's not about to be away. Don't tell me it's like to see. I gotta keep them low. From my man, before the Most High serves you. Till the world can find. Praise the Most High. Keep it in mind. That's you. This world is falling for so long. The devil ruling it. It's so sad to say, can everybody see what's going on? We say some word of God, the sun is forsaking it. If you let me, I won't be away. Don't tell me you're too blind to see. You gotta keep them low. No, my man, before you won't stop. Serve you, the world is high. Praise the Most High, and keep it in mind that you. Don't be over. Cheers, I just break every down. Don't tell them that they have everybody protect that love is so around. Don't come back, find out that. Tell them that you set up the love. People are waking up, reading so calm. That's what you got. With a party 4,000 rising shining stars. Spiritual warrior fighting, I'm looking ready for a spiritual war. You gotta keep them long. So my man, before the Most High deserves you. The world is fine, praise the Most High, and keep us the mind that you. We gotta keep, 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 we gotta keep. We gotta keep, 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 we gotta keep. We gotta keep, 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 we Everybody, come praise the Most High. I need that to hear man praise the Most High. Everybody, come praise the Most High. I need that to hear man sing. You are an awesome power, higher. That's why we give you praise. You are an awesome power, and you shy of faith. So much weight on my shoulders. You should be wearing me down, but I'm moving on like a soldier. Even when it seems impossible to find the best. It's possible because of you. You are an awesome power. That's why we give you praise. You are an awesome power, and you shy of faith. Looking at the world through my naked eyes. I see living on the earth, lights in the sky. Never without one imagination of a child. I know the Lord God exists, even if He dwells a million miles away. You are an awesome power, that's why we give you praise. You are an awesome power, and you shine your face. Everybody, praise me most. I think that the man praise me most. Everybody, praise me most. I think that the man sing. You are an awesome power, that's why we give tired space. I wanna thank you for the love that you show. Thank you for the moon and the stars and the breeze that flow. Thank you for the trees that grow. Thank you for the rivers and the streams and water that flow. Thank you for the things I know. Thank you for the seasons with their four cycles. Every little thing you create in the end came from one or it came from there. I am the creator, present every day. Christ in the mountain, never go astray. Living in the Shariah's way, we're living the highest way. And most of us I lost take charge. Our righteousness, we gotta go hard. Feel the most high from yard and drop. Thank God for giving my brothers up a flat. You want to know some power. That's why we give you praise. You want to know some power. And you shine your face. You are an awesome power. That's why we give you praise. You are an awesome power. And you shine your face. You are an awesome power. That's why we give you praise. You are an awesome power. And you shine your face.
The day is come when your Father in heaven is trying to free you.
Jeremiah 30:8, King James Version. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of all hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and I will burst thy bond, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him.
Modern day slaves, modern day slaves, modern day things. Really have to change up now. Change on your brain, pimping out people, big picking brains. To the lynch, let's go up the bench. Ball to the ball, 2500. How many years does it take to make a dummy? Little black boy, black girl, soon to be steeped in the world with a Gentile mind. On the heart mind, exponential numbers at the corners. The most high calling us, got a corner. Separating in the four corners, running like Jack and John. We cursed, running like Jack and John. We cursed, we cursed, we cursed. Modern day slaves, modern day ways, doing modern day things, kicking modern day fame. We didn't know none about it. Left our logs on the boat in the floor. We just handled it, tossed overboard. No room for them. Get to a land that we didn't even know. Now we only live life for material things. But we loyal. We ain't never needed for nothing. No, we ain't never needed for nothing. No, we ain't never needed for nothing. Way back then, we ain't never needed for nothing. Modern day slave, 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 modern day slave.
Come on. Illuminati slave, industry slave, blue collar, sex slave, even white collar, money slave, slaves to retail. You see, because they did not finish slave. No. Is that what you thought? No, female slave. I just expanded the plantation.
Slave control, so worried about simple things like yours, but trying to find a way to come up, so you cut your crown out. No, it's the blue collar standards, but you really don't need it so far, let it in your head. What would you do without passion? Can't see the bigger picture. Too busy trying to flex in your picture. Gentile mind in the Gentile time. I'm it out with the Allah high. We just made to the heart to celebrate. The line that you restrain. Never needed for nothing.
You ain't never needed nothing.
No, we ain't never needed for nothing.
I ain't had to cover that all there.
No, we ain't never needed for nothing.
We would just listen to his commands.
Way back when, we ain't never needed for nothing.
Didn't leave nothing out.
Modern day slave, modern day slave, modern modern day slave, 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 modern day slave. The father represented us so many questions, even answering us every day. I should rather listen to your brothers and your sisters than be really trying to tell you things. I'm reaching out to you. We are the children of the promise, and it's some of us that time for us to catch it in. You finna go away from wherever you worry. In a fashion different for everything. Oh, a chain is a chain, it don't matter if it's gold or not. Our people dying for diamonds, now that's what I call dumbness. Why? No pun intended. I'm not a day slave, but you thinking that you're free, no, you're not. You worth so much more to the Father, open up the Bible, read it, stop. What you worry about some $1,000 shoes to walk straight in the hell in? Worry about $250,000 car that you can't drive in the hell in. Don't let the pleasure of the devil empire separate you from the kingdom coming. Don't you know the Father giving us forever, baby? You ain't never needed nothing. Needed for nothing. No, we ain't never needed for nothing. Needed for nothing. No, we ain't never needed for nothing. Way back when, we ain't never needed for nothing. Modern day slave, 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 modern day slave.
Father has it all, rich, blessed beyond measure. Now through us, the Father is trying to show you that.
Read the Bible. Isaiah 10:27. And it shall come to pass in that day. When in that day shall come and go. That his burden shall be taken away from off thy shoulders. That the strain of his work shall be taken off of your back. And his yoke from off of thy neck. And his chains from off your neck. And the yoke shall be destroyed. And his ability to do this to us further or ever again will be destroyed. But how? Because of the anointing. Because you will be too anointed for all that. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. One, Yahshua, all praise, thanks, and honor and glory to a higher God, Shimon Shire, who I'm a watch of God. I am your brother Brian, Rudy T. No, I walk Yaku Q and Milwaukee now. Represent for the sisters. Who are the sisters for having your bro? Love y'all. BWO. We are taking this thing over.
Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. All praise be to Ahaya, Yeshaya, and the Holy Spirit. Thank the 12 tribes for joining us today. Thank you for those that are not of the blood lineage of Israel for joining us today. We're going to talk on stress. For the next 8 weeks, we are going to speak on health and healing. For the next 8 weeks, we're going to talk about various diseases. We're going to talk about foods, oils, spiritual diseases. We're going to try to cover a lot of material in the next 8 weeks leading up to the Memorial of Blowing Trumpets. Stress. And the reason why stress is a silent killer is because stress affects 80% of illnesses and diseases. At least 80% can be attributed and start off with stress. So we're going to discuss stress. We're going to discuss why stress is. We're going to discuss how to get delivered from stress. At the end of this lesson, at the end of every lesson that we do on health, we'll just see. I don't want to say anything. Okay, but we're going to talk about stress and get hopefully set free from those things that trigger stress.
What's up, dudes, and what's up, ladies? Brian here. In this video, we're going to look at stress. What is it? What causes it? And what can we do about it? So, let's roll. What is stress? Stress is your body's way of reacting to any kind of demand or threat. When the body feels stress, your hypothalamus, a tiny region in your brain, signals your adrenal glands, located atop your kidneys, to release a surge of hormones, which include adrenaline and cortisol, into the bloodstream. As these hormones are released, the liver is triggered to produce more blood sugar, which gives you an energy kick, and breathing becomes more rapid, and heartbeat and blood pressure rises. If the stress is caused by physical danger, these chemicals can be beneficial, as they give you more energy and strength, and also speed up your reaction time and enhance your focus. But if the stress is caused by something emotional, it can be harmful, because there's no outlet for this extra energy and strength. Once the source of stress has passed, hormone levels return to normal, as do heart rate and blood pressure, and other systems also return. Recent stress statistics show the top 7 causes of stress in the U.S. to be job pressure, money, health, relationships, poor nutrition, media overload, and sleep deprivation. All of these are of the emotional kind, not the physical danger that can be beneficial. Other statistics show 77% of people regularly experience physical symptoms caused by stress. 54% of people say stress is causing them to fight with people close to them, and 30% of people say they're always or often under stress at work. So how does all of this stress affect their bodies? Long-term activation of the stress response system can cause major problems, including anxiety, depression, digestive problems, headaches, heart disease, sleep problems, weight gain, and memory and concentration impairment.
We're going to cover all of those
stressors in your life. Some things you can do to manage stress include getting regular exercise, which can act as a distraction and also causes the release of endorphins and enkephalins that can help boost your mood. Eat a healthy diet that includes fruits and vegetables, which provide vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that can help maintain proper bodily function. Make consistent time in your schedule for relaxation and fun, such as going to yoga class, listening to music, taking a walk, or working in your garden. Build relationships and friendships with people who have more positive attitudes. Cut down on caffeine, sugar, energy drinks, and alcohol. The effects of these are only short-term. Make sure you get enough good quality sleep, and if all else fails, seek professional help. Bottom line time. As you can see by the statistics, stress is a huge problem in society. A big part of being healthy is being active. If stress is a big problem in your life, do something about it now. Don't let it erode your health. All right. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave them below. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, hit the thumbs down. So, till next time, I'm out. See you.
All right, stress. Yeah, first of all, let's understand something. Stress is not a demon. It's not a demon. How is it not a demon? Because there is good stress in your body. The good stress is when you see a wild animal coming towards you, your body reacts to a certain way. Anytime your body reacts to danger, that is good stress, because that's how Yeshua intended the body to react. When you are in a dangerous situation, Yeshua doesn't want you to be just, that's okay. No, he wants you to react. Stress is a reaction. That's what stress is. It's a reaction. Now, that's good stress, and that does not happen a lot. There's bad stress. It's the emotion. It's the allowing things to fester. Worry, anxiety. That's bad stress. And over a period of time, the body cannot withstand that. Stress is only for a short burst. So if you are walking in a park and a wild bear comes up, automatically things start to happen in your body. to get you to a safe place. If you're stressing over bills, over relationships, over worries, over job, over a period of time, that stress, the body can't stop. It can't stop. It continues on that cycle. Thus, you have a plethora of health issues, not just a couple. You have a lot. So it's very critical that we do understand stress.
What's up, dudes, and what's...
So it wasn't Dwight after all. Looks like I'm the killer. I never expected you're the killer. It's a great twist. Great twist.
So to show that stress is the killer. Stress is the killer, right? Stress is a killer. And you have to get rid of stress in order to not come with sicknesses and diseases and probably death. Because that's what stress will lead up to. It will lead up to death if not treated. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 says, "Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath." Be ye angry and sin not. Don't go to sleep with wrath. Because what happens is that even though you're asleep, your body is still chemically reacting to the stress. Even though you're asleep, you may feel or think that you're getting rest when in fact you're not. The body is still reacting. Our body still reacts. That's why I don't like to hear any bad news or anything before I go to sleep, because your body reacts to that. And when you wake up, you wonder, why are you so tired if you've gotten 7 or 8 hours of sleep? It's because the body still reacts to stressful or any type of negative event that happens. The body still reacts to that. Romans 12 and 18. Yeah.
Shamaria says, is that when your dreams about, when you dream about things that were on your mind or tossing and turning?
Can you repeat that, please?
Is that when your dreams, or I guess what she's saying, when you dream about things that were on the mind, so you toss and turn?
Well, you toss and turn because you have things that are unresolved.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you toss and turn. Can that be stress? Yes, it can be stress. Yes, it can be stress. There's a lot of spiritual things that go on when you do the opposite of what the Bible says. Yeshaya is saying that if you don't get this under control by sundown, demons will overtake you and sickness will come. This is what he is advising us. Because when we are dealing with stress, when we have stressful events in our life, and we don't handle them the proper way, it can trigger a mountain of sicknesses and diseases. And we are only going to touch on a few today. And when I say we're only going to touch on a few, I believe today's lesson we're going to touch on at least 30 to 35, at least. And that's just a few of what stress can do to a person. Romans 12 and 18 says, if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Because if you're doing the opposite, that is a trigger for stress. If you're doing the opposite of living peaceably with everybody, then that means that there's some kind of chaos, discord, there's stress involved. You have to live peaceably with everybody. It's better to live in peace. It's better to live in peace. We've talked about this before. 17 muscles it takes for you to smile. 17. 40 it takes for you to frown. The face uses 40 muscles to frown. So what is Yeshaya telling us here? Yeshaya is basically saying, stop frowning up, stop being angry, stop being stressful. Relax. 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 James 3 and 17, the Bible says, for where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. What triggers envy and strife? And what triggers confusion? What triggers these things? Stress. Stress. We're going to go to Galatians 5. Now, these are evil spirits. Galatians 5, starting at 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. You have allergies? Take a look at your stress life. Rash, runny nose, sneezing, red eyes, itching. Allergies are triggered by stress. By stress. Another part of this lesson we're going to touch on fear. But most of the part of this lesson is going to be on stress. Look at another way of saying in allergies. Your immune system. What happens when your immune system is taken over? The T cells and the H cells are now compromised. Your T cells and your H cells are the ones who fight off against sicknesses, against diseases. 98% of the population in the same environment setting don't have this problem. There's a chemical imbalance somewhere. When your immune system is compromised, that's it. Your T cell, whether you have one or two, your H cells, once your immune system is compromised, that's it. And that's what stress what stress attacks. The immune system. But it also attacks other systems that we're going to talk about today. The immune system is kind of like your defense against intruders. So if your immune system is being worn down by stress, then there are other sicknesses and diseases that are going to be able to infiltrate in your system. Talking about smell for a second. Whenever you smell something that is good, your body doesn't tense. Your body kind of relaxes. When your body smells something that's bad, it tenses. When you smell something that's bad, your body tenses up. The smell is programmed for a response. It's the same as a reaction to fear. When you smell good things, lavender, lavender, cookies, your body tends to, but when you smell things that are strong, bitter, your body tenses up. And you start to look around to see what is that smell. Your smell is your reinforcement of mental or spiritual poison. That's what your smell is. And the bad smell is what brings on a stressor. You start to smell, you're sitting and you start to smell something bad. All of a sudden, you're looking around. You're trying to figure out what that smell is. That's a stressor. And it's the same thing with stress, and it's the same thing with fear. If you're afraid of a mouse, if a mouse goes running across the floor, you're automatically going to jump. You're automatically going to raise your legs up or your feet up. Fear has the same concept. Stress has the same concept. So what it's saying, anything that puts a high demand on you can be stressful. Anything. It's normal for a person crossing a street and somebody starts to blow their horn, we jump. That's normal. An alarm is triggering you to fight or flight. And we've talked about this in the past. However, what happens here is that when you are in this mode, what is called cortisol is released. And cortisol is increasing your blood pressure, increasing your blood sugar. And what happens is that with the cortisol, it decreases your immune system. The more you're in fight or flight mode, the more your immune system is being depressed. The blood, the cortisol in your blood is going to your liver, your kidneys, and we're going to see what diseases that triggers. So if you're constantly in a stressful moment, then that cortisol is just continuing. It's not stopping. And one gland is controlling this. The hypothalamus is controlling all of this. And your hypothalamus is overworked. So the stressors continue. Even when you're not in a stressful situation or stressful moment, the body still continues to produce cortisol, which attacks the liver, it attacks the kidneys, it makes high blood pressure, it produces high blood pressure, it produces weight gain. Your liver cannot release glucose like it's supposed to. Blood in your oxygen, the oxygen in your blood starts to mess with your muscles. You start to have pains all through your body. This is what stress can do to a person. What else stress can do to a person? Inability to concentrate because you're stressed. You cannot think right. Tunnel vision. Your vision starts to get blurred. Blushing. Blushing over a long period of time can be deadly. Deadly. Tightness in the chest. You're always needing to urinate. You sweat when there's no really rhyme or reason to sweat. Dizzy, lightheaded, dry mouth, nausea, diarrhea, which we're going to talk about later, muscle tension, which we're going to talk about later. All of these are attributed to the flight or fight response, which is a stressor. But over a period of time, if you continue in that stressor, this is what happens. Types of anxiety disorders come from stress. Panic disorder, phobias come from stress. Generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorders. All of these are attributed to unchecked stress. The person should return back to a normal heart rate after a fight or fight response. If you're sleepy, please stand up. Or a flight or fight response. The heart rate goes down. Your breathing starts to go down and return to normal.
I think people are starting to go through deliverance. I know I am. All praises.
That's what typically happens when a stressful moment comes on. You start to get back down to normal. Your heart rate goes back down. Your breathing goes back down. What happens when stress is unchecked is that you don't go down, you go up. You never leave flight or flight. You move to a second level, and then the disease, and then the third level. It continues to grow if stress is left unchecked. You can't turn it off. A stressful situation happens and you can't get out of it. Even when the stressful situation is over, you're still in it. You still are talking about it. You still got to get it off your chest. You still have to speak on it. Days after the event happened, weeks after the event happened, months after the event happened, you still, I just got to get it off my chest. That is the stress. You're actually past level 3 at this point. The disease is already infiltrated. The disease is already set forth. If you do not get this stress checked, don't turn it off, you'll get a peripheral disease. A peripheral disease will develop, and we'll talk about those a little later. When you continue in a stressful moment, somebody made you stressful or an event made you stressful. Whether it's on the job, whether it's in the home, and you constantly are thinking about that stress, you're constantly thinking about that situation. Your hypothalamus cannot turn it off.
You know, there's this, when you said peripheral,
Yes.
there's a disease called, what is it? It's peripheral neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think it's with the feet, but it's not. It's with the breast. It's a type of breast cancer, breast disease. Yep.
It's triggered by stress.
Yep.
Unchecked stress. A lot of people say anxiety orders are not curable, but through the power of Yeshaya, anything is curable. What we want to do is prevent it from happening in the first place. Prevention. And these lessons that we're going to be doing for at least the next 4 weeks, they're about prevention before it even happens. We call ourselves children of God, but we are the most stressed out people there are.
Because of what? Doubt and unbelief.
We are the most stressed out people there are. We allow people to stress us out. We allow situations to stress us out.
Stay up at night worrying. So the ladies and I was watching this show,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about ladies who robbed and stole to get money for their families. And one of the ladies' husbands is a police officer. And he found out his wife was robbing banks and stores. And he said, how can you go and do all that during the day? And then at night, you come home and you just sleep like you have no issues or no problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, so these are, and it's people that do that for real. It's people that rob and steal, lie and cheat all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come home and they are laid out. They're not worried about getting caught. They're not worried about any of that. They get up the next day and they do it again. But if we are people of the Most High and we're supposed to believe on Yeshaya, Why are we up at night? Why are we stressed out? Why are we dealing with insomnia? Why we can't get to sleep at night?
Unresolved issues,
Yeah.
dealing with stress. It
Yeah.
still goes back to stress.
Mhm.
And stress unchecked, it's very deadly because it can go so many directions, as we're going to see today.
But before you find out what it is, like you said, it's usually too late. You didn't surpass the stress. Now you go to the doctor and you get a physical, and you got like 4 or 5 different things going on with you.
Right. It's still not too late, but the fight is
It's
harder.
harder.
It's a lot harder. Because at first, before the stress happened, your body was functioning normally. It was functioning normally. You allow the stress to continue because it's emotional. You allow the stress to continue. And what happens is that the hypothalamus is thrown off whack, your thyroids are thrown off whack, your blood is thrown off whack, your liver is thrown off whack, your kidneys are thrown off whack, your heart and your lungs, your brain thrown off whack. The joints in your body is thrown off whack. The muscles in your body is thrown off whack. Your intestines are thrown off whack.
Yeah.
Do I need to say any more? Your whole entire body. And it depends on what path the stress is going to attack.
And the devil knows. You ever heard that saying that everything was thrown at you but the kitchen sink?
Mm-hmm.
The devil's going to keep causing situations in your life. He's going to send every type of person that he knows you have a hard time dealing with, or you.
Right.
And it's just one day it may be 2 or 3 things. The next day 4 things. Like it's just going to continue to pile up.
Mm-hmm. What happens when you deal with stress and it's not turned off? Well, first, the ions in your body are attacked. The thyroid is next. What happens after that? Your liver is next. And then what happens after that? There's something called an adrenal cortex, which is really the ionic base of your body. That's attacked. And let's understand something. There is no medication for this. You can go to the doctor, and yes, they will prescribe all kinds of stuff to get that money. But once your body starts to turn on itself, because that's what it's doing, it's going to take you as an individual to stop. We talked about Hashimoto's disease. This is mainly women. Hashimoto's. This disease attacks the hypothyroidism. It's an autoimmune disorder, and it happens the majority of time with women. Your thyroid gland is producing hormones that it's not supposed to produce. And because your T cell has been compromised, and because your H cells have been compromised, oh, and by the way, your white blood cells have been compromised, all of that has been compromised. So now, women, you develop Hashimoto's disease. What is Hashimoto's disease concerning to you? Are you always tired?
Mm-hmm.
Are you having problems with gaining weight? Are your nails brittle? Are you constipated frequently? Do you have fertility problems? Do you have heart problems? Do you have high cholesterol? Are you anemic? When you have children, are there birth defects? You have excessive iodine in your body. And this is the excessive iodine that's in your body. It's supposed to be like a defense mechanism, but it's producing way too much. Way too much. When the ions and the acidic levels are unstable due to fear or due to stress, then the alkalinity levels in your body are all messed up. So if you're dealing with high stress, I would probably encourage you not to drink high alkaline water. Because what is happening? The alkaline levels in your body are already out of whack. Because the acidic levels and the ion levels in your body are out of whack. So if you're drinking alkaline water, the levels in your body are already messed up. It's a 1-2 punch.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying if somebody deal with acid reflux, basically. Okay, that's
I didn't say acid reflux. Acid reflux is something different.
Okay.
Which we're going to talk about next week.
Okay. So help me to understand. So we know that alkaline water is supposed to take away the acidity that's in your body.
Correct. But here's the thing. When you're dealing with stress, the ion levels in your body and the acidic level in your body is screwing with what? The alkaline levels in your body.
Oh.
It's making it higher.
And then you go and drink alkaline water.
It's making it even more higher. So when you drink alkaline water, and you probably are thinking that, this should help me, when in fact you start to feel worse after drinking the water. You start to feel bad after drinking the water. So what do? You drink more alkaline water. When in fact, your body, you have to stop the stress, allow the ionic level and the acidic level to decrease itself. Thus, the alkaline level that's in your body starts to decrease. Because everything is out of whack right now.
I was talking to the sister and, this daughter I was talking to. And she said that because she was dealing with acid reflux and diabetes, she said they don't even buy water. They drive hours away from where they live, and they take buckets with them, and they go and they get the natural spring water.
Natural spring water is probably the best if you're dealing with this situation. If you're not dealing with this situation, then the alkaline water is good.
So natural spring water. And I think, did we test it? I think we tested and...
See, what happens is that anything that you put in your body, it's going to increase on what the body is naturally doing in the first place. If you don't deal with stress, then your ionic level in your body, your liver, and the acidic levels in your body are at a normal rate. They're normal. So you can drink the ionic water. You can drink the alkaline water, and it will do benefits to your body because your alkaline level is not out of whack.
No, but she said they did some studies and they found out that the natural spring water is better. See, they don't try. See, you could go and it's like, what are these different parks that you can visit? And they have natural spring water.
The national parks?
Yeah, I think they have natural spring water, and a lot of Israelites, they're going to get the natural spring water. But it's free now, but eventually
Eventually, it's
when they
not going
catch
to
up,
be.
yeah. So, and she said she bring it back and they drink it, they
Mhm.
cook with it, and she said she wish she can haul in enough to shower with, but
Yeah.
they can't. But she said she's been doing that for years, and they're healthier. The whole family, they losing weight, and
hmm
she doesn't deal with acid reflux anymore. None, any of that.
Right. So then this is a 1-2 punch. What's the second punch? The ladies discussed this earlier, kind of pronounced it a little incorrectly, but that's okay. Candida.
Candida.
Now, what the ladies did not say, first of all, this is a painful disorder in women. It acts as a 1-2 punch because it reduces the low self-esteem. But where is this triggered? It's triggered from stress. It's triggered from stress. Yes, yeast infections, poor memory, itching, food cravings, headaches, athlete's feet, muscle pain, brain fog, fatigue, food sensibility, irritability. This is candida. And this is triggered by stress. It starts with stress. But stress unchecked, ladies, leads to this.
So let me
See, like I said, I'm sorry. I'll get this point out. This is what I said earlier. There are many paths. There are many paths. So, ladies, we have discussed 2 paths already that are totally separate. But the start of it is stress. Yes.
So years ago, let me tell you what happened to me. Because I kept getting what I thought was yeast infections. I didn't realize I was dealing with stress. 2016. And I would go to the doctor and they would say, we don't see any yeast. There's no yeast infection. Like they was misdiagnosing it. Instead of the physician saying, okay, are you dealing with stress? Are you dealing with this? Like, they would just say, well, we don't see anything. Take some probiotics. And I take the probiotics and it'll go away.
Right.
But then what happened? A stressor would come.
Right.
And here we go again. Full blown wham.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I wear skirts because what they tell us as women, how yeast infection comes, is because we wear pants.
Right.
Well, I don't wear pants, so I'm not going to say we. But women wear pants, and there's no breathing. There's no air, no circulation down there.
Right.
So that's not even correct.
Right. That's true.
But it's stress.
It's stress.
Wow.
Something as simple, stress.
And
I
then,
don't mean to say the stress is simple because, it can get complicated.
but you see a lot of YouTube videos with women saying that they've been trying to treat yeast infection for 3 or 4 years, 5 years. They've been dealing with yeast infection for 4, 5, 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And all we had to do is evaluate your life, see what's going on, and when you have those breakouts.
Right. Yeast infection is step 2. That's not step 2, that's level 2. Because you're not dealing with the stress in your life. It's going unchecked, and it's going to lead to even worse diseases.
Mm-hmm.
As fear gets more stronger, as stress becomes more stronger, fibromyalgia starts. The pain starts. For no reason at all, it just comes at you one day.
Mm-hmm. So it's somebody stabbing you with a
Your faith is under attack right now. Yeah. Stress goes unchecked, leads to minor irritations that goes on, minor things that happen. It then leads to even more stress. Athletes' feet fungus, that is stress. And left unchecked, that will get into the blood system. Left unchecked, stroke, diabetes, heart attack. Left unchecked, there's a few more that we're going to talk about that we're going to get to later on today. Left unchecked.
The other thing you put, was it eating?
Yes, eating. We're going to get to eating also later on today.
So if it leads to eating, would that be a gluttony or no?
Well, it depends. You can become gluttonous if you can just eat. Some people eat to relieve that stress, when in fact that's not what you're doing. It can lead to gluttony in some cases.
Is that the weight gain?
No. Oh, no. Stress does not necessarily mean that, if you're dealing with stress and you have weight gain, that does not necessarily mean that you're eating bad foods. Remember when I said cortisol, it gets into the blood. That is attributed to weight gain and bad weight gain. We're going to talk about cortisol a little later in this lesson, but when it comes to weight gain and stress, it's not always food. There's other ways that you can gain weight and have a sort of perfect diet. There are other ways. The body starts to turn on itself. And cortisol, who should be in check, your cortisol should be in check, but your cortisol is going amok in your body. We're going to talk about that a little later. Hopelessness. You start to feel hopelessness. The more you feel fear, the more you feel stress, you start to feel helpless. You go to the doctor, spend about $30,000, $40,000. There's no healing that takes place. You go some isolated part of the world where there's no stress, but the demons are still there.
Some with stress as well. I have seen people that were stressing out over things, and within a month, they would lose 20, 30, 40 pounds in a month from stressing out.
Yes, weight loss is a big one also, which we're going to talk about a little later.
It's like it's supernatural because it happened so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And you thinking like, man, this person looked like a corpse. What happened within 30 days?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's
stress.
Huge.
That's when it's bad.
Yeah.
Severe weight loss is just as bad as severe weight gain. In fact, it may be a little worse. Don't be afraid. Don't look at your symptoms. They are a lie. You're not fighting this disease alone. When you look at your symptoms, then you start to Google. A lot of us go to Google. Why am I feeling this way? Oh, it's because of this. No, it's because of stress. You Google, I have back pain. And then Google tells you, well, this could be your sciatic, this could be this, and all these list of things that they have. When in fact, you're dealing with stress. Yes.
Maria said, is that like when you have a stressful job and you start not to care? Is that a part of hopelessness?
That's part of hopelessness, but let's understand something. Not one job on this earth should be stressful. Not one. Don't you still get paid? Not one job should be stressful. We make it stressful ourselves.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
We make it stressful. Why? Not following the rules on the job, doing shortcuts on the job, putting your own influence on something that's been established for many years. Or you feel like you got the experience, so you're just going to do whatever you want.
Or maybe the job is not just for you.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
you
true.
need to find another job.
Maybe the job is not for you.
Before you quit that one,
Yeah.
find a job. See, this is what happens. When we look for a job, we just start looking and we'll take anything because, we got to provide this and that. We don't actually sit down and say, wait a minute. Am I going to be happy here? Is this something I want to do for a long term? Because you shouldn't be job hopping.
Right.
So is this something that I want to do? Am I going to be happy in this? Am I going to be successful in this? We don't add that up.
Right. That's one of the reasons why they tell you to research a job before you go on it.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why, because it may not be a fit for you. But if you have faith in Yeshua that he's going to provide and take care of you, he's going to provide, he's going to show you the way. You don't deal with stress. So then at some point, you're dealing with stress and fear, and now you got sicknesses and diseases. The final stage comes up, and the final stage is exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
It's no big disease. It's not cancer or diabetes or is lupus or anything like that. The final stage before you die is exhaustion. Exhaustion. Why is that? Because the potassium ions that are in your body has been compromised. And that's very important because when the potassium ions have been compromised, guess what? This is what you have. It's it. A broken heart does not necessarily mean that somebody did you wrong. Stress can produce a broken heart. The potassium levels in your body is just gone out of whack. Stress is no joke, as we're going to see on, because we just are getting started. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22 says, "A merry heart doth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones." Fear, panic, stress. If we don't get it under control, because you cannot control events in your life, but you can control on how you handle, the events in your life. When you have a broken heart, you will have fear and stress. When you have anxiety, you have fear. And the stress in the body is telling the body that we need fear. Fear is telling the body we need stress. And it's going backward and forward. The anxiety is telling that we need fear to operate. The fear is saying we need stress. The stress is saying we need anxiety. The anxiety is saying we need fear. The fear is saying we need stress. The stress is saying we need anxiety. And it just continues on a deadly circle. At that point, your body is compromised. And your body, the T cells, the H cells, the immune system itself, it's tricked. And it's allowing all kinds of sicknesses and diseases to come into your body. Your body has been tricked. Your body has been compromised. You cannot go on living in stress You cannot go on continually with little things. We used to say, barbecue chicken, mattresses, scrambled eggs, because that's what that's what that stress would trigger off of. And it just blows up from there. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And the more it gets deeper, the more harder you are going to be delivered.
Anxiety bring on panic. So now you're dealing with anxiety and panic.
Yes, you're dealing with anxiety, you're dealing with panic, you're dealing with fear, you're dealing with stress, you're dealing with all that. Then you're dealing with the sicknesses that deal with the anxiety, the fear, the stress, the panic.
With anxiety and panic, it makes you feel like you're having a heart attack.
Yes.
You can't breathe, you panicking, you gasping for air, and you having severe chest pains.
Where did this all start? It started with unchecked stress. That's where it all starts from. 1 John chapter 4, verse 18 says, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. He that feareth is not made perfect in love.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get healed. You must get healed.
No prescription is going to heal you.
No, you got to get healed. The fear and stress, when that goes away, then the person can start to eat foods that they normally would not be able to eat when they have a stressful moment. There's no such thing as allergies. It's stress. There's no such thing as allergies. It's stress. And what I mean when I say there's no such thing as allergies, because, something had to trigger those allergies. What triggered the allergies? Stress, fear. The body is starting to react. The allergy, that's just level 1. If left unchecked, and I don't mean sit up there and take allergy pills all the time, because that's just masking the problem. It's not healing the problem. Over time, those allergies, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Allergies are just level 1. Level 3 could be fibromyalgia, IBS.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what IBS is, that's irritable bowel syndrome. Irritable bowel syndrome can lead to cancer, something much more serious. This is what the medical profession don't tell you, because the medical profession wants you to make sure that all of these instances are separate. Allergy is separate from IBS. Allergy is separate from fibromyalgia. They have no common denominator whatsoever. Yes, they do. And it's called stress. Simple thing. If you don't have a reaction to everything, you don't have stress. You don't have fear. Everything, you react to everything that goes on. And you keep all those things for weeks, for months. Your body starts to feel bad. You wonder why your body is starting to feel bad. Why am I starting to feel worse? Why? Why these body aches? Why? Oh, I remember when that person did this, and I remember I felt this way. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Gotta let it go.
Stress unchecked is a coffin. that's where you're going to end up. A lot of our Bible, a lot of our lesson for tonight, we will be in the Apocrypha. Anytime that we have been humiliated or we have been suppressed has the potential for fear. Fear is a form of brainwashing. Stress is a form of brainwashing. Let's see what the Apocrypha says. We're going to go to 2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 14. 2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 14. Then I awaked, and an extreme fearfulness went through all my body, and my mind was troubled so that it fainted. Remember, the Bible says to don't let the sun go down on your wrath.
Mm-hmm.
How about don't let the sun go down on your stress? Don't let the sun go down on your anxiety. Don't let the sun go down on anything negative. Because as we have said before, and we'll say it again, you cannot allow negative feelings to house in your body. Your body is going to turn on itself. It doesn't matter how fit you are.
No.
Long-term effects of stress. This is not part of the plan.
I'm getting stressed waiting for it to come on.
It's not part of the plan. Long-term stress, high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke. Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 33 says, and therefore hath he sent me to shew thee all these things, and to say unto thee, be of good comfort and fear not. Why do we have these lessons? To tell all of our people, be of good comfort, fear not. Be of good comfort. Don't be stressful. Don't be stressful. Second Ezra chapter 12, verse 5. Says, lo, yet I am weary in my mind and very weak in my spirit, and little strength is there in me. For the great fear wherewith I was afflicted this night. What does fear do again? Weary in mind, weak spirit, little strength. Fear and stress go hand in hand together. All right, Second Ezra, chapter 13. We're reading verses 13 and 14. Second Ezra 13. And it says, and there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, thou hast shewed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and thou hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Again, fear. Fear will make you sick. Stress will make you sick. Let's talk about the endocrine system. You got your pituitary glands, you got your pineal glands, you got thyroid glands, you have thymus glands, you have your adrenal glands, you got your pancreas, ladies, ovaries, men, testes. That's part of your endocrine system.
Let me write that down.
What can stress possibly do to this? What can stress possibly do with any of these?
I know with stress, with a woman, it can cause your cycle to be late.
Yes.
You can miss your period.
That's level 1. That's only level 1. It gets worse from there. Missing periods, especially like I think the lady said it earlier today, especially those women who are of childbearing age, missing periods, that's a problem. But what is the trigger from that? Stress. That's the start of it. The very beginning of it. It's stress. A young woman of childbirthing age should not be missing menstrual cycles. Men, low sperm count, stress.
No erection.
Stress. No erection, stress.
What is that called with the men?
It's called erectile dysfunction. It's stress. Is there something on the chat? No? All right.
That was what Scott TCL said. She said, I know my job has one.
I can't hear.
I know my job has one schedule, and she said, I'm not going to lie. I'm over it. And they just made the change from 1:05 a.m. to 11:35 a.m. It has become too much for me.
Reevaluate. Don't let it get you stressed. Reevaluate and reconsider, because from what that sounds like that's a recipe for stress. Tension headaches. When you have a headache, more than likely, where does your hand go? Huh? Well, what do you do to relieve it? That's what I should say.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Go back here.
Oh, yeah, the back of your neck.
Tension. Pain here. Pain here. Back of the neck. Migraines at the temples. Dealing with tension. Your hand automatically goes back here. It may go here. You may go here. A lot of times we go back here to try to relieve the tension. The endocrine system. Adrenal gland, kidney, stomach, liver, thymus, pancreas, thyroid, parathyroid, testicle, ovary, uterus, skin is part of the endocrine system. What can stress do to your skin? Right. And it's all controlled by hypothalamus. Now, if you look at the endocrine system, all of those are connected. So what diseases can attack not only just the liver, but everything?
The pancreas itself is that diabetes.
Yes, it is.
That's bad. And with diabetes come 8, 9, 10 different things by itself. Because look at everything that diabetes touches.
Oh, yeah.
Your eyes, your liver, your kidneys.
Yes. That's one of the ones we're going to talk about in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. These type of diseases, these are killers. And this is the number one killer. Because stress, there's not a diagnosis. You can't go, you go to the doctor and say, well, I'm feeling this, this, and this. The doctors are not going to say, well, you're dealing with stress. They're going to take your symptoms, and they're going to try to come up with a hypothesis on what's going on with your body.
And write a prescription.
And give you a prescription.
So now you're taking something that's not going to get rid of the disease. Now you're taking something where you're going to still have the disease.
And what else?
And the side effects from the medication.
You're going to gain the side effects. Yeah. That's what you're going to do. So you still got the stress going on, but now you have the side effects that attributed to the stress itself. And in some points, the medication put the stress in overdrive.
You know, I forgot the medicine that they were giving out for diabetes. But what was happening is that it was messing with people's kidney, heart, and liver. And it was doing something else to it. In other countries, they banned it. But the U.S. was still giving it out as a prescription.
They haven't made their death quota.
I think until like 4 or 5 months ago. I forgot what it started with. Yeah, but it was not treating the diabetes. It was crashing people's livers and kidneys. People were dying from.
Right. And let me give you a little insight on something really quick. Just because they stopped branding a medication in the US, that does not mean that that medication goes away. What they do is they change the name of it. That's all they do. They change the name of it. They can say that Amoxin, okay, we found out, well, first of all, behind closed doors, it killed about 3 million people. So great job. In public, this Amoxin is bad for people who have kidney stones. So we're going to take it off the market. But what happens? In the back of it, they're saying Amoxin, let's change it to Procraxin. Let's change the name of it to Procraxin. And we'll say this is a brand new drug and it has been proven to stop kidney stones. How do I know this? Because I used to work for a drug company. And they would do these things.
Allegedly.
Anybody ever heard of Wellbutrin? Never heard of the medication Wellbutrin. It was a cancer drug. But guess what was happening? The drug made people not want to smoke cigarettes anymore. So guess what they did? They just changed the name. They kept the ingredients. They changed it to Wellbutrin. I think it was called, I forgot what it was called prior to Wellbutrin. They just changed the name of it.
And then they was giving it out to people to help them from stop smoking.
But it was like a cancer drug or something.
They do it all the time.
They do it frequently. That's why you should not take medications.
Well, I'm not going to tell people not to do that. Something happening. Oh, my phone was in delay. I'm not going to tell people not to take their prescription.
People need to make their own decision. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to this, check the stress in your life before you start popping pills.
Going to prayer.
The hypothalamus gland. The hypothalamus gland is the leader of the endocrine system. The hypothalamus gland sends messages throughout the endocrine system. So if you're dealing with fear and stress, what messages is the hypothalamus sending through the endocrine system? Fear and stress chemicals throughout the entire body. And when you're dealing with fear and stress, mainly stress, the hypothalamus is sending stressful signals to what? Your liver, your stomach, your kidneys, your testicles, your ovaries. It's sending stress chemicals. It's not sending good chemicals. It's sending stressful chemicals. And it's attacking the body. Fear is not just an emotion. The Bible calls fear an evil spirit.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier, stress is not an evil spirit. That's not stress. Because like we talked earlier, the body does produce a good stress, your defense mechanism. So when you grab the back of your neck, you're trying to relieve stress in the pain in the back of your neck. But the gland is actually right up in here somewhere. When you're geared for a fight or flight, the stressor, there are all kinds of weird things that are going on inside your body. All kinds of weird things that are happening in your body when you're dealing with this. Let's talk about the limbic system. The limbic system. Now, we've talked about the immune system. We've talked about the endocrine system. We're going to talk about the limbic system. So far, we have talked about 3 systems in the body that stress will overtake. What does the limbic system do? It coordinates with your emotions, your reason to respond to pain, your behavior patterns. That's what the limbic system is. And that's what the limbic system does. So how can stress infiltrate this system? Pretty much. Like right now. Play. Something wrong. There's no, oh, there we go. Heart attacks, kidney disease, cancer. It all starts with stress. Stress. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23. Stress. Science says that there's a body and mind connection. The Bible calls it soul and spirit connection. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23 says, "And the very God of peace sanctify you wholly. And I pray, God, your whole spirit and soul and body be preserved blameless unto the coming of our Lord Yeshua." Psychology says that the soul is compromised conscience, but that's not what the scripture says. The scripture says that there is a connection between soul and spirit. The hypothalamus is the facilitator of circumstances that happen in your life. Fear, anxiety, stress, tension, panic, phobias, rage, anger, aggression. They are all released by that one little gland. That one little gland releases all that. Panic attacks, that's released by the hypothalamus. And my wife said on what can happen with panic attacks. It feels like you're having a heart attack. Mm-hmm. Your lungs are losing oxygen because you're hyperventilating. Mm-hmm. Where do panic attacks start? Stress. Stress.
I used to have them. Severe. They were bad. I could just, 1 minute, I can be in a bathroom in the mirror combing my hair, and in a split second, I was on the floor. It would take you, it would drop you just like that. and I couldn't walk, your legs couldn't move, chest hurting, and I was crawling, trying to get help.
So how are you feeling before that happened?
It sneaks up on you. I didn't have a thought.
Normal, right?
I was normal. I was getting ready for work.
See, that's why stress is very deadly.
I had no negative thoughts.
Because you could wake up and have a great morning, feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
But see, stress unchecked will lead to all kinds of things. A panic attack.
It just dropped me. I was combing my hair, and next thing you know, bam! It was like a split second. I was on the floor, and I couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the bathroom with the door closed because it was early in the morning because you were still asleep. Remember? Mm-hmm. And I finally got the door open, and I was crying, and I was crawling, and I couldn't breathe because the hyperventilation was going on.
Right.
And I was like, help. I couldn't talk. I was trying to, and that's when you jumped up. But I was combing my hair. I was, I thought I was looking cute that morning.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that it's not, you don't feel it coming on.
Right.
It's not like it ease up to that. It's not like it goes from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't go like that. It just is 0 and then 30.
Right.
That's how, just like that.
But see, what's happening is that you can't feel your hypothalamus sending chemicals throughout your entire body. You can't feel that. You can't feel that. So that's why I asked, how did you feel prior to the panic attack? And you felt normal. You felt good. The hypothalamus has already did its job. It's doing its job because it cannot shut off. Mm-hmm. It cannot shut off. So you thinking that I'm not going to have a panic attack today. I feel great. The hypothalamus has other things. It's saying, I can't cut off the stress. I can't cut off the anxiety. And it continues to send signals with a panic attack to your lungs and heart. Mm-hmm.
I thought I was
but this isn't the only thing that it does.
No.
Oh, it does a lot more that we can't even cover in this lesson. A whole lot more.
So when people die of cardiac, how you say?
Cardiac arrest?
Yeah, what is really going on?
Stress. But we have something a little later on that. Mm-hmm. The limbic system. A connection between your cranium, a connection between where your cranium and brain is. Your psyche is the limbic system.
So a man said, are iron, zinc, copper, and etc. all from the ground? Man is a liar and motivated by financial gain, that's all.
Yeah, iron, zinc, copper, yeah, that comes from the ground itself, but I wouldn't ingest it.
Not now.
No.
But let's see what's really in water, because remember, even the water, the pure water that Yeshua made, that was created from the beginning, that water is to minister to our bodies.
Right.
So how did our people really live 800, 900 years? Because the food, the water, the things that they ingested it was life to the body.
Right.
Not like nowadays, they didn't have fluoride and arsenic in the water. Just evil.
Just evil. How the stress works, this chart illustrates it beautifully. Stress gets into the brain. And then from the brain, you have these psychological disorders, which we have a lesson on mental disorders in a couple weeks. Abnormal behavior. Anxiety, autism, visceral pain comes from stress. What stress also do is it attacks the guts. It attacks the stomach with IBS, Crohn's disease, all kinds of GI disorders. What else does it do? What else does it do? It attacks the nervous system.
Oh, yeah.
What else? Nervous system, endocrine system, immune system.
You know, for people who, with the ladies talked about this earlier too, with the abscess under the arms and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I know and from experience, it will start off with like cramps in the bottom of your stomach, like you have pains in your stomach. And then it'll move up your sides into your arms and your hands. And that's when um, a person would end up with the abscess under the arms and stuff. But that's still a form of stress.
Yeah.
Because stress can be in the stomach, like, oh, like you were saying,
Yes.
you grab your stomach, you cramp, oh, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll move. It moves through your body.
Yes, it does. It
Yeah.
moves through your body. Stress can attack every system that the body has.
And you have
Every system.
You have the seducing spirits. Don't leave them out. That ain't gonna work. Everything you do, every time you try something, this and that, they just lying to you all over the place.
Right. While you're dealing with stress.
Yeah, they stressing you out even more.
John chapter 14, verse 27.
You already going through something. Yeah, girl, you know that ain't gonna work. Look at you. Look, people don't even like you. Look at you. You all ugly. You look at when you come in the room, they turn up their nose because you stink. No matter what you use, you just stink. You just that's the and y'all think I'm playing, but I'm not. I'm serious. Demons will do this to you, won't they?
Yeah.
Stress you out even more.
John 14, 27. Peace I leave with you.
Oh, yes,
my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Mm-hmm. This is what the Bible tells us to do in the midst of dealing with stress. In the midst of dealing with stress. The Bible also says that the priests and prophets have made errors when it comes to stress. Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 13 and 14 says, for from the least of them, even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. And from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people, slightly saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. No peace.
That's because when people look at peace and they think peace means that it's just nothing going on. Everything is nice. There's no issues.
That's not peace.
Peace is when Yeshua was in a boat and a storm was going on and he was asleep in the midst of a tsunami, whatever was going on. Now that's peace. When you lay down and you rest in Yeshua's peace in the midst of a storm.
Yes.
That's peace. How did you get that? By believing.
Mm-hmm.
You can find no black doctors in a coat. Here's my switch.
But long-term effects in the immune system, it talked about cortisol. It talked about sleep disorders, stress. Isaiah 9:6 says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace."
Mhm.
The Bible also says that that perfect peace, it belongs to people whose minds are fixed.
Stayed on thee.
Isaiah 26:3 says, "Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in thee."
Mm-hmm.
The antidote to fear is fellowship with the Godhead. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." A sound mind is critical when dealing with stress.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking down this scripture, power is the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a higher. A sound mind, Yeshua.
That's how you get set free.
We're going to go Wisdom of Solomon 17:10. "The limbic system functions in the emotional aspects of our behavior related to survival. When you don't feel loved, when you don't feel secure, you fight for survival.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't feel comforted, you fight for survival."
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the limbic system does. If stress is attacking the limbic system, then you're fighting for everything. You're out of whack. Even when there's peace, I got to talk about this situation. When it's peace going on, I got this problem. When it's peace going on, everybody else is
Relaxing, enjoying everything. And you just gotta have something going on.
gotta have something going on. That's the hypothalamus, and it is just keep going. It keeps going.
It has you making up stuff. Why are you looking at me like that? You've been ever
Yeah.
since I came in. You try to start with me.
Mhm.
What would you want? Something you want to say to me?
Right.
I know, because I used to say stuff like that.
Wisdom of Solomon 17:10 says, "They died for fear,
Mm-hmm.
denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided." Fear. Fear. Fear.
No, fear would make you think that. That's a little.
When you have been rejected by a parent, when you don't feel loved, when you feel violated, you're always looking over your shoulder. Something else is going to happen to me. Something else is going to happen to me. This is stress. You are in fight or flight. When you say, I can't trust anybody, somebody is always out to get me, You're in fight or flight mode all the time.
Also, you're not listening to the scriptures because we're supposed to put our trust in the Most High. Because if you are suspicious, there's somebody out to get you, are you truly loving the way Yeshua has told us to love each other?
No. Your mind is in fight or flight.
Yeah.
Fight or flight does not necessarily always mean that you're running from a predator. Fight or flight, you can be in fight or flight mode on just about anything.
If somebody is really out to get you, Yeshua will let you know. The Holy Spirit will let you know. So you don't need to try to be the watcher over yourself if somebody's going to do something to you.
2 Maccabees 8 and 13. Second Maccabees 8 and 13, the Bible says, they that were fearful and distrusted the justice of God fled and conveyed themselves away.
There you go.
Let's get more. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 37. For my spirit was greatly set on fire, and my soul was in distress. Mm-hmm. What can stress do to your body? Headaches, frequent infections, muscles, muscular twitches, fatigue, skin irritation, breathlessness. What can stress do to your emotions? Loss of confidence. You're more fussy. You're irritated. You are depressed. You have apathy. You feel alienation. You feel apprehension. What can stress do to your behavior? You're accident prone. Loss of appetite, loss of sex drive. You're drinking, insomnia, restlessness. You smoke even more. And what can stress do to your mind? Worry, muddled thinking, impaired judgment, nightmares, indecisions, negativity. You make hasty decisions. These are all attributed to stress. And this is level 1. Because all of these will lead to disease. Level 2. Then level 3, terminal diseases. Level 4, exhaustion. Level 5, death. Can stress cause inflammation in the body? An imbalance of bacteria and fungi in your gastrointestinal tract, also known as dysbiosis. This causes your immune system to overreact to bacteria in your gut and can be without notable symptoms. Stress, constant psychological, emotional stress raises the level of cortisol, creating inflammation. Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 23 says, A wicked woman abated the courage, making an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. What is the opposite, or what can it combat? We've talked about the effects of stress. But how can we combat that? The Bible tells us, everybody turn to Ecclesiasticus chapter 1. And we're going to start at verse 11. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, starting at verse 11. Let's see. The fear of the Lord is honor and glory and gladness, a crown of rejoicing. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart, and giveth joy and gladness and a long life. Whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. She hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with her seed. To fear the Lord is fullness of wisdom, and filleth men with her fruits. She filleth all their house with things desirable, and the garners with her incense. The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of God, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. Look at verse 18. The fear of the Lord, making peace and perfect health. Verse 19, wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding standing, and exalted them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. A patient man will tear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. He will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is an abomination to a sinner. If thou desirest wisdom, if thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight. Distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so the Most High discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in the truth to the fear of the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. What is the theme of what we just read? Fear of the Lord, what? What is it? What is the thing that we just read? The fear of the Lord, what? I said, what is the thing? Sure. Every other verse said the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord, what? Why did we read this? Why did we read this?
Shamaria said, fear the Lord gives wisdom and is the beginning to fix all.
Yes, why did we read this? What did I say we were doing prior to reading this passage? What did I say we were going to do prior to reading this passage?
Are you showing a difference in fear? I don't know. I wasn't in here. Because the fear of the Lord doesn't do that to you.
What can overcome stress? I said before we started to read the scriptures, said, let's see how to overcome stress. And how do we overcome stress? Fear of the Lord. Somebody's paying attention.
Ew. Oh.
Welcome home. Finally, time to relax after another stressful day at the office. Unfortunately, it's not over. Stress can have an intense and sometimes dangerous effect on your body. It all starts in a part of your brain called the amygdala. When your boss yells at you or you start freaking out about a deadline, it sends a warning message to your hypothalamus, which starts immobilizing the nervous system. Your heart rate jumps, your intestines go a little haywire, and glands start pumping out that dreaded stress hormone, cortisol. A stressful day here and there isn't a huge deal, but if you're one of those people who spends most of their life as a stress ball, all this biology can spell trouble. In the heart, blood vessels constrict, which makes pumping blood a difficult job. That sends your blood pressure up much higher than it should be. Things aren't so great in your digestive system either. Those butterflies in your stomach, that's actually your body limiting gastrointestinal activity. That means less food broken down, bloating, and a lack of nutrient absorption. All while hormonal changes are happening that can raise your cholesterol levels over time. Stress can also make you gain weight. That cortisol flooding through you ramps up your appetite and makes you want to eat a lot. And that nasty cortisol isn't done. It can also cause changes in the brain that may hurt your sleep cycle and your memory. And on top of all that, chronic stress puts people at higher risk for depression, anxiety, and heart disease. So next time you're stressed, take a deep breath and consider a few other ways to deal with it. Exercise.
That's like a man with a wig.
Get the rest you need, and above all else, stay positive, man.
Stress. I know no one has been keeping track, but we've talked about a lot of diseases so far. A lot. And you know what? We're not even halfway done. Why am I trying to stress this point? Because of the fact this thing can kill us in so many ways.
Quick.
And it's quick. It's not like it's going to be a prolonging death. This thing can kill us so many ways if it goes unchecked. Let's go to Psalms 107. Who can deliver us from stress? Psalms 107, rereading verse 6, 13, 19, 28. Psalms 107, verse 6, 13, 19, 28. Who can deliver us? Psalms 107, verse 6. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble, and he delivered them out of their distresses. 13. Then they cried unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them out of their distresses. Verse 19. Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, and he saveth them out of their distresses. Verse 28. Then they cry unto the Lord in their trouble, he bringeth them out of their distresses. Who can save us?
The Lord, Messiah.
And how can he do it?
He'll bring us out.
See how simple the scriptures are?
So when you're stressing out, people are, I'm so stressed, I gotta go smoke a cigarette.
No, that's the bad thing to do.
I'm so stressed, I need a drink.
That's the bad thing to do.
You go to the Lord.
Yes. Part 2.
Oh my goodness. That was only part 1.
Yes, that's part 1. So let's enjoy part 2. You must understand Satan and his methods of attack. One way he attacks, general adaptation syndrome. Yes, gas for short.
I just read about this.
The alarm stage, when the stressor first starts. The stressor upsets, and it upsets the homeostasis, and it upsets your cellular balance inside here. Resistance, the body fights back, and it fights back by adjusting to the stress. Did I say adjusting to the stress?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You sure did.
Adjusting to the stress.
Mm-hmm.
Not fighting the stress, but adjusting to the stress. Then the exhaustion stage. The rest permits enhanced adaptation. That's where your panic attacks comes in.
Mm.
No rest, overthinking, injury, lack of adaptation. What happens is that at this moment, you're always stressed. Always. Probably asking, well, what is homeostasis? What is that? The stressor upsets homeostasis. Homeostasis is you're cold, get a sweat. Your body shivers when it gets cold, right? Your body, when it gets too hot, it sweats to try to cool down the body. This is what homeostasis is. It's a regulatory internal system that's in your body. When your stomach starts to growl, you do what? I know you would know. Just kidding. You go and eat. You have to fulfill that motivation. Homeostasis is your normal operating, how your body is self-regulating itself.
Mm.
That's what homeostasis is.
That's why
And it's homeostasis is specific body stimuli. Yes.
Go ahead.
If your food's too hot, you blow it. If it's just right, you eat. If it's too cold, you warm it up. This says,
What she say? Now whose side you on?
throw it against the wall.
Oh. She's
This
in her
is,
natural habitat, isn't she?
yeah. This is homeostasis. This is successful internal environment. This is a natural chemical environment in the body. Temperature, pressure, homeostasis is geared towards your everyday living. Everyday living. All of this is normal. This is what Yeshaya created. This is what Yeshaya created. Right here. Your food's too hot, cool it off. If it's too cold, warm it up. This is what Yeshaya created. If you're hungry, go to eat. If your body is cold, the environment, your internal is making your body shiver. That tells you that you are cold. If it's too hot, your body starts to sweat. Your body is telling you it's too hot. We need to cool down. Normal. That's how Yeshua created us. But we're going to show what happens when things are not normal, when things are not fine. Stress is an extreme of what used to be normal. And your body is not working right anymore. Adaptation syndrome, or like my daughter said, GAS, does not maintain a constant environment. It does not maintain an internal constant environment. It's just the opposite. How is it the opposite? Let's take high blood pressure for an example. Your normal blood pressure is 120/80. Normal blood pressure. You're in what we have been calling homeostasis. Homeostasis says that your blood pressure is 120/80. What happens if it gets raised up a little? 120 to 139 over 80 to 90. Pre-hypertension. Right? So your blood pressure 121 and up to 139. Pre-hypertension. Then 140, 159 or 19 to 90, 99, that's high blood pressure. That's hypertension. We're going to see what this leads to. The third stage, high blood pressure. Hypertension stage 2. 160 to 100. 160 over 100. That's not good. 140, not good. 130, not good. That's stage 2. The emergency stage is hypertensive crises. 180 over 110. This is what is called GAS. Blood pressure going up. That's GAS. The stressors are the disturbance and your emotional reaction. Because when our blood pressure goes up, it's not because we're chilling on the Sabbath. And all you got to do is get in the word after you get through praising, and you know everything gonna be all right because it's the best day of the week when I'm chilling with you, Yeshaya. Hey. Your blood pressure isn't going to go up when that happens.
No.
There's an emotional stressor that will make your blood pressure go up. There's some emotional kicker that will make your blood pressure go up. When you're listening to Fred the Genius, your blood pressure isn't just going to skyrocket up unless that hypothalamus is not put in check. And your blood pressure is constantly going up and down, up and down. Even when you're chilling at the end of the week on the Sabbath with you, Yeshaya, hey. Even when that's going on, your blood pressure is going up. Still, you can't control it. And one of the most scariest things is not having control over your own body. You can't take any medication. You can't do anything. That's scary. And general adaptation syndrome, that's very scary. Am I lying?
Nope. I've been there. I'm just keeping quiet. Because what you're teaching on is what I went through starting September 2015 up until recently.
Yes.
So it's no joke.
It's not. Second Ezra 13:47, the highest shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace. 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 When a stressor appears, it stimulates the hypothalamus to stimulate the general adaptation syndrome in two ways.
Really?
The first way is the nervous system and the adrenal system. The stimulation produces reactions called alarm reaction. The second is a pathway called the resistant reaction, which involves your pituitary gland. The resistance reaction is slower to start, but the effects last longer. How is it slower to start? You're frozen. You're in shock. There's something happening. Boom!
I'm just wondering, you know all this. What happened?
The body goes in shock. Resistance reaction, slower because the body is going into shock. When your body goes into shock, it's like when you see someone going into shock, it's like they're in slow motion. They can't do anything.
I have seen that.
A lot of people say that when a person is like, when something happens and they're like, if somebody gets scared and they're sitting there staring for a minute, it's because their body is deciding on if they want to fight or flight.
Right.
I saw that before. We was watching
and that's the delay.
We was watching a movie. I don't know what Amuna did, but her knee popped out of socket. So her knee was which way? It went that way. And Shepard was sitting there like, and I'm like, do something. He like, I just grabbed it and just threw it back in. I didn't know what I was like, ugh. It went back in. I was like, hey, all praises. But the way it looked, it was freaky. Her knee was like, look, oh, so what? You know what it is. You should. You got 5 years of college.
Generalized anxiety. This is another part of stress.
But yeah, it's when you see something like that, it will throw you into shock.
Mhm. Generalized anxiety disorder, ongoing worry, excessive worry. Your heart rate increases, you're nervous, you're irritable, you feel tired, you feel weak, difficulty concentrating, and hyperventilating. This is the first part of an anxiety disorder, and it's called the alarm reaction. This is the first part of fight or flight. It's your body's initial response to a stressor. Now, imagine over a period of time, because you have not dealt with that stressor, you go through these things without being with the stress. This is what happens.
And like Shepherd said, you have no control. You just have no control. You feel hopeless. You feel like you're dying. And it does. It feel like you're dying.
You have no control.
No control. You can't breathe. You know, you it's like you're inside your body, but you're trying to scream out for help, but you can't because you have no control because of the hyperventilating. You can't speak.
Right. And these are not demons. This is the one thing. These are not demons. This is your body, your very own body, which you were supposed to protect your temple. This is your body reacting to the stressors that you continually allow to happen. So you can't say, oh, I need prayer. It don't work like that.
No.
You can't cast out something that your body is making a reaction to.
You have to undo that stressor. Because I was in prayer for years, remember?
Yes.
And I was getting kind of mad at Yeshaya, like, why you not healing me? Like, what's wrong? I'm praying for other people and they're getting healed, but I'm not getting healed. What's up with that, Yeshaya?
It's your internal system.
It was me. Yeah. I had to have a mindset change. I had to change my heart. I had to start looking at things in a different way. So I had to go back and undo all those stressors.
Right. See, this is the thing where this is where it gets scary. Yeah, look at that. It's loaded. I don't mean loaded potato. This is the thing that's really scary about stress. Because, yes, it will end up with sickness and diseases. Yes, it will do that. But on the onset, there is nothing to cast out.
Not.
There's nothing to cast out. Your body is turning against itself.
Autoimmune.
So, yes, you probably would need prayer for healing.
Healing, yeah. But you have to
But
change.
let's understand something. If there's no change, there's no healing.
You gotta change. You must change. I'm getting some aha moments. When you first started teaching, I started going through deliverance. I don't know if you thought I was going to sleep, but
yeah, I thought you were going to sleep.
You know better than that. But I was getting delivered because I was having is it a revelation?
Yeah.
I was having a
new revelation.
I was having a revelation. I was starting to understand because at what point I was crying. I was so disappointed. I'm like, Yeshaya, why are you not healing me? No matter how I prayed or whatever, I never got healed. And it's because it was not a demon to cast out.
It was this.
Yep, my mind, yes. This. Stressing, yeah.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 28, verse 13, curse the whisper and double tongue, for such have destroyed many that were at peace.
And we have to know you don't get like this overnight.
Oh, no. No, you don't.
Remember, I said, because in 2015, what was I doing? I was running, going up and down stairs. I was like, I was active. And then the end of 2015, I started being stressed.
Mhm. Remember, stress happens in 5 phases.
But I didn't realize I was being stressed.
Right. A lot of people don't realize they're being stressed. Stress happens in 5 phases. You want to stop at phase 1. The reaction, the alarm reaction has tremendous amount of glucose and oxygen to the organs that try to fend off the danger. The organs are the brain and skeletal muscles and the heart. The heart rate and the strength of the cardiac muscle contraction increase blood supply to the heart and the lungs, making it constrict. While that's going on, your blood, the liver that's in your blood is just shooting out glucogen, which is turning into
Wait, the liver that's
glucose.
The liver that's in your blood.
No, the blood in your liver. The blood that's in your liver
is shooting out glucose.
Large amounts of glucogen, and it's turning it into glucose. Yeah, glycogen. Did I say glucogen? It's glycogen. We're going somewhere with this. Showing you somewhere. Look at what happens. The reaction to stress. Some stressful moment happened. Your sweat increases. Your breathing increases. Your saliva increases. Why does this happen? Your heart is being constricted. Your liver is producing large amounts of glucose, which gets into your blood. That's not good.
Glucose is sugar, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But I thought your pancreas, the sugar come from your pancreas, not your...
No. Insulin.
Insulin. Oh, that's two different things.
Right. Yes, insulin and glucose are two separate things.
Okay.
Proverbs 17:22. A merry heart doth like a good like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. Fight or flight is second stage. Third stage, exhaustion. When the body is stressed, then it compromises your nervous system. It compromises your heart, your brain, your lungs, your spleen, the blood vessels, and every other part of your body. The second part of fear stress is how it affects your life. Fear is all over the place.
Yeah.
What is the worst that can happen? You die. If you're living right, you go to Abraham's bosom.
That's what it sounded like he said. But we have to know that from that fear, before that fear has set in, you have doubted somewhere. You have unbelief or you have doubt.
Oh, it always starts with doubt and unbelief.
And then the fear, and then the stress, and then everything else.
It depends. Stress or fear, depends. They both work together. They both don't work together. They both are at the same stage. Stress, fear.
That's for her back. But I remember, I remember many years ago, you know, you have a car and you have, what she say? What she say?
Really?
What did the nurse say?
Since you need a nap for teaching so long.
You know how you can't pay your car note.
Yeah.
So you and they threaten that they gonna come get if you don't pay it.
Mm-hmm.
So you up 2-3 in the morning. Every time you hear a car, hear a door slamming or a light go by, you jump up,
it's
peeking
big time
out.
Fear.
Yeah, thinking they gonna
and stress.
So they gonna come get it. What you gonna do?
fight the repo man, and then be on TV. Luke chapter 16, verse 22 and 23. And it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeing Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. Stressor. A stressor can be anything that causes fear in your life. So let's see what parts of the body one stressor, one, can affect long-term basis. One stressor. Fear. Stressful response to immediate danger. Anxiety is the little fish saying, what if the big bad fish comes out today? See the difference?
Those what ifs, they'll get you.
Anxiety is what if.
What if, yeah.
Fear is the actual event.
What if this?
The anxiety is the stress response to your thoughts. The stressor is the thought of the big bad fish coming today.
That's what I was talking about with the repo.
Yes, exactly
What
you were
if they
talking
come?
about.
What if? Yeah.
The hypothalamus here is integrating the response fear. The hypothalamus is the one who's triggering the anxiety. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Your gland is triggering fear. And wait, the nervous system gets involved next.
That goes shaky.
Because they're shaky now. Your heart is beating.
Like your bones.
Your food can't stay in your stomach. So how many systems have I just mentioned? I said the brain, the hypothalamus, endocrine, the nervous system, the heart. What part is the heart? Cardiovascular, correct? And then the stomach, which is what part? Digestive. 4 systems. 4 is what the stress, one stressor.
Yeah.
You had a thought. This one thought.
A thought.
Thought. One thought led to 4 of your bodily systems being compromised.
Yeah.
And then what happens?
There's more. Oh.
Constipation and diarrhea. Why? Why constipation and diarrhea? Because your stomach is all over the place because of this. So now you either get constipated or diarrhea. Both are dead. Let me say that. Both are dead.
That's gross.
Hey, it serves its point. This is happening because despite praying, the long-term effect of the stressor has taken over your body. Pray, wonderful. It's not going to work. Why? Because of the fact your body is turned against you.
It has to be a change, a big change. Change.
Constipation, fear. Diarrhea, fear. Constipation, stress. Diarrhea, stress. What else? Of course, diarrhea and stress is a fruit of anxiety. What happens? Your liver.
Oh, fear too.
What happens? Dehydration happens. What happened to the bile acids in your body that has to be released when you're dealing with dehydration, diarrhea, constipation? Dehydration is a long effect. The liver and the pancreas are not working. They are not working. And you have bile building up in your body. Can somebody tell me why that is very bad?
Bile. What's bile?
Bile. Bile. Well, that's the stuff that's in your urine. Bile. Bile is a part of urine. Huh? Let's try something less. Let's try something worse. Death. Serious dehydration can do what?
Kill you.
It can kill you. If you're constipated, what's happening? You're dehydrating. Because where's all that stuff coming? It's blocked up. It's blocked up. Constipation. It's stopped. It's blocked up. Who's the enemy? Cortisol. Cortisol. That's cortisol. Yeah. I don't think anybody's walking around getting shots of cortisol. That wouldn't be good. Cortisol. It's cortisol, or what's the thing that you get in your knees? Collagen.
No, it's the cortisol. Not that. What's the other one?
Cortisone.
Yeah, cortisone.
I said cortisone.
Yeah, I used to get those in my knees. Yeah.
All right, cortisol, deadly.
That's not good for you either. So.
No. Cortisol is a stress hormone. What does cortisol do to the body? Decreased metabolism, depression, hypertension, chronic fatigue, sleep deprivation, migraines, tunnel vision, acid reflux disease, hostility, hunger, arthritis, decreased immune system. Now, if you look at this, cortisol is a stress hormone. And look what it does to the body. Yes.
I've experienced that before. Tunnel vision, if it's what I'm thinking, I was really extremely stressed sometime in high school. And the sides of my eyes was like black.
That is tunnel vision.
Woo!
That is tunnel vision. That's dangerous. That's very dangerous. But yes, that is tunnel vision, where you're looking straight ahead, but it's kind of like a horse with blinders. This is all black. All of this is black. You can only see straight ahead. That's dangerous. That's a sign of your cortisol level being way too high. Cortisol will destroy your immune system. What else does cortisol do? This is enough in itself. You would think, how does arthritis and migraines, how can they can't. That's two totally separate prognosis. Arthritis is in the joints. Migraines, it's in the head. But this is what I mean when I say stress. It goes everywhere. Stress touches everything. Like we thought diabetes touched everything. Stress touches everything, and stress touches every single system in the body. We can go around this whole list right here, and let's see, decreased metabolism, that's more than likely metabolism. That's more than likely your the stomach system. Depression, that's dealing with your head. It's every single one of these is touching some type of system in your body. Now, cortisol is very important when it comes to fight or flight. But like I said, fight or flight it's instant. Fight or flight is to get you out of harm's way. And that's it. It should go, your body should regulate back down once it's in a safe place. What cortisol does with stress, if you continually are in this stress mode, it won't stop. That hormone is going to get more and more and more. And then what does it do? Kill your T cells. Try to destroy the T cells in your body. If it does that, you're gone.
Well, that means that it attacks the immune system. Your immune system is compromised.
It's an autoimmune disease. First Ezra, chapter 8, verse 85. You won't find that in your normal apocrypha because it's in the Cambridge apocrypha. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them that may be strong and eat good things of the land, that ye may leave inheritance of the land unto your children evermore. What does cortisol do? It attacks the bones, the liver, muscles, pancreas. If it goes unchecked, your stress response system, adrenaline and cortisol go to the heart, get your blood pressure going, get your stomach going, get your lungs going because you're breathing. That's adrenaline and cortisol. What's happening while that's going on, your liver is converting glucogen to glucose. Why glucose? Because you need sugar. You need energy to fight off whatever is that stressor that's going on, that bear that's coming. Your body automatically does this. And your body gives energy. That's what glucose is. But understand, if the stressor continues in your life, your liver is going to continue to give out glucose. That's going to get in your blood pressure. That's going to get in your blood, which is going to be a very serious problem that we're going to see in a moment. No, I don't think you did. I didn't hear you. So what are common ways we can overcome stress? First thing, recognize the problem.
Get rid of the stress.
Yeah, the first, recognize it. Know that it's stressful.
You cannot. And one thing they say in psychology, they tell you to cope with it, coping mechanism, cope with stress. No, you get rid of it.
You get rid of it.
You don't cope with it.
Recognize the problem. Psalms chapter 32, verse 2. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputed not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. The second thing that you do, take a break. Get help. Take a break. Get help. Stop beating yourself up. We may want to be super bruised, but let's be honest, we're people. You live in a fallen world. Problems are inevitable to happen. But you need to turn to Yeshua. You need to turn to Yeshua. No.
And have somebody touching all over me.
If you're sick, working through some type of tragedy, you just need to step back from your normal responsibilities. Take a break. Take a break from your day-to-day functions.
What if there's people that's stressing you out?
Take a break. Take a break. There could be something underlying, some hormonal, some chemical, psychological reason why you're stressed out. Take a break. Take a break. Turn to Yeshua in prayer. When you overcome with stress, overcome with anxiety, turn to Yeshua. Turn to Yeshua. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Yeshua. Turn to Yeshua.
Mm-hmm.
Yeshua promises that he's going to give us peace beyond our understanding. That's opposite of stress. Verse 3 says, go up to verse 3. To appoint them that mourn in Zion. I don't know what this scripture is. What happened? All right, don't know what happened. That shouldn't be there. Number 4, meditate on the word. Right? Meditate on the word. What?
That was a big word.
2 Peter 1 and 3, according as his divine power have given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness, through the knowledge of him that hath called us to glory and virtue. Matthew 11, 28 to 30. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, stress, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Put your stress on Yeshua. Your shoulders can't handle it. We read John 14:27 earlier. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled. Let not your heart be full of stress. Neither let it be afraid. Stress, fear, hand in hand, go together. Psalms 4 and 8, I will both lay me down in peace and sleep. For thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Spend time by giving thanks. Praise and worship takes our mind, it should take our mind off of ourselves, off of our problems. Music is soothing.
Oh, I didn't see this. Samaria has said, what if the problem is something that can't be removed right away? Is that where turning to Yeshua comes into play to give that peace? And then she said, Matthew, where the scripture answered it when you read it.
Yes. Even if the issue cannot be removed, children can be stressors, but you can't kill them.
You can't remove
Can't
them.
remove them, right? You can't do that. So what do you do? What do you do? Chloroform. Oh my goodness.
It's this video on
We
YouTube.
do not condone chloroforming
What
children.
was it called? It's this video on YouTube, and they said when you dealing, they got like the kids screaming and crying, passing out, and they said give them nap time spray.
I don't even know what that is.
But
They said it was made by government, in a government lab by government scientists. And a doctor
Well, we're going to talk about government
Wait, listen.
later on today.
they had a doctor read, he's like, wait a minute, this is chloroform. And
so they was called, so when the kids start having a temper tantrum, they spray
Spray them
some.
with chloroform.
Yeah, they would, but they call it nap time spray. And they showed a little boy, he was acting up while his mother was folding the clothes. Next thing you know, he was hanging off the couch upside down, asleep. She had chloroform.
We don't condone chloroforming your children.
No, we don't.
That leads to some very dangerous issues.
No, we don't condone that.
All right, let's go over some examples of fear and stress-related diseases. First, the cardiovascular system, which is your heart, your veins. What can cause stress with the cardiovascular system? Angina, spasms, hardening of the arterial walls, loss of oxygen, thickness to the heart caused by being hyper. Your hyper and thickness starts to get in your heart, into the veins, into the arterial walls of the heart. But the Bible says in Isaiah 21:26, men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. It says their hearts are failing them because of fear. Fear and stress work hand in hand together. So this particular hardening of the heart, the scripture tells us, failing men's hearts, failing them for fear or stress, looking for things coming on the earth. What is that talking about? Hypertension. Hypertension. Vision loss. That would be tunnel vision. Heart attack. Kidney disease, kidney failure, sexual dysfunction, heart failure, stroke. All of these are signs of hypertension, which is stage level 3. This is level 3 now. Level 1 is the stressor itself. Level 2 would be your allergies, little things like that. Now it's coming bigger. Number 3, level 3, hypertension. What else? Heart arrhythmia. Confusion, dizziness, short of breath, profuse sweating, fainting, tachycardia, bradycardia. Heart arrhythmia. Your heart's not beating properly. Skipping beats. That's not good. Level 3. Tobit 13:14 says, "Oh, blessed are they which love thee, for they shall rejoice in thy peace. Blessed are they which have been sorrowful for all thy scourges, for they shall rejoice in thee when they have seen all thy glory and shall be glad forever. They shall rejoice in thy peace." It says, they which have been sorrowful. That means they were sorrowful in past tense. That means they were stressed or fearful in past tense. But now, because they see the glory of Yeshua, they'll be glad forever. I know I'm going to mispronounce this. I had a hard time pronouncing it. Mitral valve prolapse. Basically, your heart is regurgitating. Your heart is throwing up.
Why would they do such a thing?
Oh, we're going to lead to it because we ain't even got to the serious part yet. Your left ventricle, normal blood flows through, pumping. Prolapse. Right. And then you got regurgitation. Instead of normal beating, it's forcing blood back into the atrium. It's not allowing the blood to flow through the atrium. So the left ventricle is pumping blood, but it's regurgitating, throwing up back to the left atrium. So blood is just going backward and forward, backward and forward. This is what stress does. Never heard of your heart regurgitating? Yes, it does. Tobit 3:6. Bitterness, self-hatred, stress. These are unholy spirit manifestations. But where does these all lead to? Rebellion, self-will, self-determination, stubbornness, disobedience, anti-submissiveness, rejection, fear of rejection, self-rejection, self-pity, wounded heart, self-hatred, machismo, imaginary friends, bitterness, resentment, hatred, unforgiveness, violence, temper, anger, retaliation, revenge, strife, discontentment, contention, bickering, argumentative, quarreling, fighting, tormenting, teasing, harassing, retaliation, revenge, destruction, spite, hatred, sadism, hurt, cruelty, murder, control, manipulation, possessiveness, dominance, Jezebel, witchcraft. These are all evil spirits, correct? No distress is on here. Stress is the start of all these unholy manifestations. Tobit chapter 3, verse 6, Bible says, "Now therefore deal with me as seemeth best unto thee, and command my spirit to be taken from me, that I may be dissolved and become earth. For it is profitable for me to die rather than to live, because I have heard false reproaches and have much sorrow. Command therefore that I may now be delivered out of this distress and go into the everlasting place. Turn not thy face from me." Let's continue with the heart and what stress does. Coronary artery disease, coronary artery disease. Plaque that gets into the what? The arteries. Inflammation. Remember, we talked earlier that stress causes inflammation. Coronary artery disease leads to heart attacks.
The plaque that's built up inside of your artery is thick and waxy and gummy.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Mother can remove it.
Built up plaque ruptures and forms a blood clot, which blocks the flow, and it doesn't block it temporarily. It blocks it forever. Stroke.
A stroke occurs when the blood flow in part of your brain is blocked. After just a few minutes, the starved brain cells begin to die. Normally, the brain receives blood via two major pairs of arteries, which branch throughout brain tissue and supply your brain cells with a constant flow of oxygen, glucose, and nutrients necessary for their functions. In one type of stroke, ischemic stroke, an artery in your brain narrows or becomes completely blocked, preventing normal blood flow. The blockage may be caused by a blood clot, also called a thrombus, which forms in an unhealthy artery of the brain. The lack of blood flow causes the tissue the artery supplies to become starved or ischemic. Similarly, the blockage may be due to an embolus, a blood clot that forms elsewhere in the body and travels to the brain. The embolus lodges in a narrowed artery and obstructs blood flow. Immediate treatment for your stroke may help to minimize brain cell injury and death. If you have an ischemic stroke, you may be given medication to break up the clot causing your stroke. Later, your doctor may recommend surgery, such as carotid endarterectomy, to reduce your risk of having another ischemic stroke.
Scary. But this is what stress can do. If you leave stress untreated, this is what will happen. Stress happens in different levels, and it ends with death. But that's just one way stress kills you. People who deal with strokes, self-hatred, self-rejection, bitterness, but it's all triggered by stress. Remember earlier we talked about how stress brings forth inflammation. And when it brings forth inflammation throughout the entire body, not just your feet, not just your ankles, not just your hands, but throughout the entire body. Hmm. Inflammation is it's left untreated, it's dead. What else? Aneurysms. Aneurysms are also very scary because you could be sitting there talking 1 minute, get an aneurysm, and you're gone. Just like that. How do I know? I had an uncle who passed who had an aneurysm. Talking and then gone.
An aneurysm is a bulge or ballooning in the wall of an artery. Arteries are blood vessels that carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to other parts of the body. If an aneurysm grows large, it can burst and cause dangerous bleeding or even death. Most aneurysms occur in the aorta, the main artery that runs from the heart through the chest and abdomen. Aneurysms also can happen in arteries in the brain or in other parts of the body. If an aneurysm in the brain bursts, it causes a stroke. Aneurysms can develop and become large before causing any symptoms. Often doctors can stop aneurysms from bursting if they find and treat them early. They use imaging tests to find aneurysms. Often aneurysms are found by chance during tests done for other reasons. Medicines and surgery are the two main treatments for aneurysms.
Here's the thing. There's no pain. When there's an aneurysm about to happen, there's no pain. It's sudden. They said they only find aneurysms when you're going to the doctor and your blood work or your test results reveal something that's there. We got to get rid of stress. We read Ephesians 4:26, be ye angry and sin not, let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Another aneurysm that people really don't know is deadly, varicose veins. What is varicose veins? There's swelling of the veins of the blood vessels. This is another type of aneurysm. And this is rooted in anger, rage, and resentment. That's why people have varicose veins. That's why you see people with their legs and it looks like purple lines are on their legs. Those are varicose veins and the swelling in the blood vessels are swollen. This is a type of aneurysm.
They can bust too.
They can bust also and lead to possible gangrene. Bad, very bad. Hemorrhoids is another type of aneurysm. Having these blood vessels in your rectum or anus swolled up. That's what a hemorrhoid is. A lot of people, well, you're not washing your behind. That's ignorant talk. That's not where hemorrhoids come from. It's an aneurysm in your rectum.
Some people have to have surgery.
Yeah. Vein inflammation. You're dealing with anger and rage when you're dealing with vein inflammation or aneurysms in the arm. You see a person and you see the veins coming out of their arms. That's an aneurysm. All right, let's get some scriptures. We're going to be in the Apocrypha. All right, let's go through these really quick. Baruch chapter 3, verse 14. Learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life, where is the light of the eyes and peace. Wisdom of Solomon 1:14 says, "For he created all things that they might have their being, and the generations of the world were healthful, and there is no poison of destruction in them, nor the kingdom of death upon the earth." Continuing on in Wisdom of Solomon 16, the Bible says, "But this again did even forget his own strength, that the righteousness might be nourished for the creature that serve thee, who art the maker, increase his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abated his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee." Then we have Ecclesiastes 34:17. "He raiseth up the soul and lighteth the eyes. He giveth health, life, and blessing." Yeshaya does that. Ecclesiastes 30:15 says, "Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth." And then, of course, going back to the fear of the Lord in Ecclesiastes 1:18, Ecclesiasticus 1:18, "The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of God, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him." So these are scriptures telling us that if we fear the Lord, we will have perfect peace. If we have knowledge and wisdom and understanding of Yeshua, we will have perfect peace. We will have perfect health. Because if you have perfect peace, you have no stress. No stress. Let's talk about muscles really quick. Tension headaches, we talked about that earlier. The causes of tension headaches: dehydration, lack of sleep, stress, overexertion, bad posture, depression, anxiety, arthritis of the neck, spinal malignance. So we talked about tension headaches earlier today. Squeezing and pressuring pain that is in your head. Let's talk about the gastrointestinal system. Ulcers are a sign of stress. Ulcers deal with fear, stress, and anxiety, and they cause the bacteria to eat a hole in your stomach. IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome. It's a fear stress disorder. It destroys the lining of the colon. Yes. Your poop is how you check to see how healthy you are. Your poop tells you how healthy you are. If you poop pebbles, or if you poop something that looks like a candy bar, possible dehydration, possible constipation. If you poop something long and like a snake, or if you poop something that looks like corn on a cob, healthy poop. Broken up, watery type of poop, that is a sign of IBS, constipation, diarrhea. Irritable bowel syndrome can be also called Crohn's disease or colitis. Not going to get too much into it because we have a whole lesson on foods. For a healthy gut, alfalfa, eggplant, bean sprouts, green beans, carrots, asparagus, onions, celery, garlic. For fruits, banana, orange, cantaloupe, grapes, watermelon, apple, pear, mango, beans, black-eyed peas, cashews, beans, dairy, cow's milk, sour cream, lactose-free milk, Swiss cheese. Backaches. This is connected to the nervous system when you're dealing with backaches coming from fear and stress. Cognitive tissue disorders, or what is called arthritis, dealing with stress. The white corpuscles attack the bones and they eat at it, thus arthritis. Pulmonary system, dealing with asthma, you're dealing with stress. Yes, fear. Hay fever, stress. Your immune system is being compromised. Itchy ears or a buzzing sound, that's dealing with hay fever. You have to be set free. Your immune system, we talked about cortisol. An excessive amount of cortisol can destroy the immune system. Autoimmune diseases is from a lack of white corpuscles in your body. The body is attacking the body because the person is attacking themselves with self-hatred and bitterness and allowing the stress to overtake them. Autoimmune disease, lupus, Crohn's, diabetes type 1, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis. They deal with fear and stress and anxiety. Your autoimmune diseases, multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, fibromyalgia, thyroiditis, Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, on the skin, psoriasis, eczema, peripheral neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy. These are all autoimmune diseases and they are triggered by stress. Crohn's disease, type 1 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, polygmia, rheumaticia, lupus. All of these are autoimmune diseases, and all these autoimmune diseases are attributable to stress. There are over 100 different types of autoimmune diseases. 1 John 3:17, but whoso hath this world's good and seeth his brother have need, and shutteth up his bowels of compassion from him, how dwelleth the love of God in him? What can be a cure for any and all of these? Let's see.
That look like somebody in here.
Mark Twain once said, humanity has unquestionably one really effective weapon: laughter. Power, money, persuasion, supplication, persecution, these can lift at a colossal humbug, push it a little, weaken it a little, century by century, but only laughter can blow giraffes and atoms at a glance. Against the assault of laughter, nothing could stand. Twain was right, except he forgot to mention laughter's ability to profoundly affect our health. Laughter is the best medicine for many scientifically proven reasons. Laughter is one of the best stress relievers. A good bout of laughter can keep the muscles in your entire body relaxed for up to 45 minutes.
Look at that, 45 minutes.
Imagine cracking a few good jokes all day long. tones all the internal organs and strengthens the abdominals without ever doing a single sit-up. Laughter induces better social relations. The contagious nature of a smile or good laugh help us to connect with others, leading to friendships and even romantic closeness. In fact, couples who laugh together are more likely to stay married longer. People who have enduring relationships have also proven to outlive those who have few friends and are unmarried. Laughter boosts our body's immune response. Studies have found that laughing at a funny movie or finding humor in a stressful situation helps to increase the production of natural killer cells, white blood cells that attack cancer, colds, and foreign bacteria. Laughter combats depression. When we laugh, our bodies dump a bunch of good neuropeptides into our bloodstream, including oxytocin and dopamine. Laughter reduces physical pain. Perceived pain levels in participants of many different studies are lower than laugh. Life may cause us pain here and there, but laughter helps us deal with it better. Finally, laughter is a measurable trait found to be higher in those who are more resilient. If you want to find a successful person who can take the punches of life just as easily as the accolades, you'll find someone who laughs a lot. Laughter builds character and lessens rigidity. Mark Twain was a smart man. That's why he also said, those that respect the law and love sausage should watch neither be made. Made you laugh.
Yeah, you don't want to see sausage being made. There you go. Mark Twain had something. But laughter. Laughter. 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, for God hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of mind and of love and of a sound mind. Matthew chapter 22, verse 37, Yeshua said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Matthew 22, 39, and the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. John said, if Yeshua loves us, we should love one another. 1 John 4 and 11, beloved, if God so loved us, we ought also to love one another. And Isaiah 61, 1 and 2, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord, and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. Beautiful scriptures. When it comes to stress touches many facets of our lives. We have to be mindful of stress and get rid of the stressor before it's too late. Now, the last part of this lesson, we're going to go back and we're going to talk about each time after the end of these lessons, we're going to, you'll see. Anyone ever heard of the Cincinnati radiation experiment? Let's find out what the Cincinnati radiation experiment was. Every week during these lessons, at the end of the lesson, we're going to have something like this. In spring 1960, a research project was started with the Cincinnati General Hospital And it was funded by, guess who? The Defense Atomic Support Agency of the United States Department of Defense. And what were they doing? Over a course of the next 11 years, 90 people were irradiated over half of their bodies. The total body irradiations were among the worst of human radiation experiments in the Cold War era. We all understand what the Cold War era was. The Cold War era was between 1949 and 1962, between Russia and the United States. Okay. All right. So the Cincinnati Project was the most harmful of all experiments. Why? Because these people already had cancer, and what they were doing was putting radiation, harmful radiation, in their body to see how it would affect the cancer that was already in their body.
Wow.
This young man was affected by it and died. They were not volunteers. They were told that there was a cure for their cancer, and they were giving them these very deadly radiation treatments. Extremely deadly radiation treatments. That was a picture of the radiation treatment that they gave to one man. They already had cancer, and they were telling them, they weren't telling them that they were shooting them with, they were giving them radiation. They were just telling them that there's a cure. Doesn't that sound familiar? There's a cure for your cancer. The Department of Defense was doing this. Now, this one today is light. Oh, next week, it's going to get worse.
This morning, years after a plaque was installed to remember 70 people who died in radiation.
Look at what happened to the plaque.
A recent blog post is bringing attention to this part of the school's past. 9 on your side, Lisa Smith has that story.
Where's the plaque? Look at that.
Is a plaque dedicated to a dark memory in Cincinnati medical research. At the time, that didn't want it to be known. You see, still
Martha Stewart Stephen, she was the whistleblower.
70 Cincinnati cancer patients who died from 1960 to 72, part of full body radiation research at the former Cincinnati General Hospital. Now you see, Maud Jacobs was hospitalized after one treatment. And never fled.
It never left.
Retired English professor Martha Stevens is a whistleblower who brought the research of Dr. Eugene Sanger to life. Recently, a blogger posted pictures of the overgrown memorial online. You see, has since landscaped the area. The court required, as part of the final sentence, that such a plaque be impeached. So, UC Medical Center responded to our questions about the maintenance of the plaque, saying in part, when notified that the memorial had been unintentionally covered by overgrown landscaping, the issue was addressed with new landscaping within hours. This path here leads to the area where the plaque sits, and even though it has been cleaned up, it's still hard to see because the plaque faces backwards.
It faces
backwards. In Professor book, she criticizes the memorial's obscure location. She believes the victims deserve more. How can we not care about people like that? Lisa Smith, 9 on your side.
We have more of the statement from UC as well. They call the whole body radiation study regrettable. UC also goes on to say, quote, our role is not only to do the research to advance healthcare, but to protect the patients involved in that research. As such, memorials are not enough. Our efforts are to never let this happen again and to let this legacy be the real memorial to the patient.
And people don't understand why we don't trust the government, why we don't trust them. Oh, there's more. And every week we're going to briefly talk about the atrocities that this government has done on innocent people, just like the atrocity that they're doing today.
Well, when people have cancer today, what are those treatments?
Radiation. But this radiation was not like, I mean, the radiation still is bad. This was deadly.
When you have
the woman died in like 3 or 4 days.
I thought they said weeks.
Or weeks. All right, next week, we're going to overcome sicknesses and diseases. Memorial of Blowing Trumpets is September 10th through the 11th. Also, the Fall Holy Day. The Day of Atonement, September 21st to the 22nd. Tabernacles is September 25th to October 2nd. And the 8th Day Feast is October 3rd. That's our lesson for today. If you've enjoyed, oh, never mind, I don't say that just yet.
Really?
We're going to end with our scripture, Psalms 1. Okay. What is that? Oh, your notes? Great. Look at them during the week. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
You shall be like a tree, planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth its fruit in its season. Its leaf also shall not wither.
And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper.
The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish.
I keep falling in love with
not
him.
Singing like that.
Over and over. I've been talking for the last couple hours. Come on. Over.
I'm making excuses. We love you.
I keep falling in love with him.
Over and over and over and over again.
I keep falling in love with him. Over and over and over and over again. It gets sweeter and sweeter as the day go by. Oh, the love between my Lord and I keep falling in love with him over and over again. If you've enjoyed the lesson, found it educational, like, share, and subscribe. Kwam Yashara.
Kwam Yashara.